what we want to find out, and what I want to find out, is this Gladiator going to fill the gap that Defender has left? Massive, massive hole, a gap in the market for solid axle overland vehicles. The Jeep Gladiator. Right, we all know that the Comanche ended up in the 1990s and Jeep stopped making pickup trucks. The Gladiator was launched some time ago, and unfortunately here in the UAE we still have not seen them launched by the dealer. However, companies like Jeepers have brought in vehicles from the States, and they're starting to modify them and get them ready for everybody out here in the GCC, anybody from Dubai. You can go out to Jeepers and you can purchase one of these, because I think the dealer has waited way too long to get this stock in here for us. We like to see things first. We want to move on. We want to purchase these vehicles as soon as they launch, and we don't want to see, frankly, the whole of the USA starting to customize these vehicles, and we haven't even got to test drive one yet. So, thanks to the guys at Jeepers taking the initiative and bringing one of these vehicles in, and well, it's taken them a couple of days to build this. They are the rough country dealers for the Middle East, or for the United Arab Emirates, and as you can see, everything's rough country all over the place. The lights, the suspension, the whole bang shoot. It is an absolute awesome vehicle. Right, so we've got this beauty for the weekend. Let's go out there and let's have a look. Has this got the ability, or does it have the functionality or the foundation for the perfect overland truck? Right, let's just discuss a couple of the formalities. Basically, yes, it's a Jeep. It drives like a Jeep. Obviously, this has got the raised suspension, and the 37s are ridiculously huge, and you feel every undulation in the tar road with regards to, obviously the 13-inch width on these 37s. So we can't talk about the drive because, hey, quite frankly, this has been modified. What we can talk about though is, what's going to make this a perfect overland vehicle. Now, firstly, the V6, the 3.6 litre V6. It's 285 horsepower, it's ample, there is enough power in there, and I know the Jeep guys are probably going to argue with me here and saying, yeah, but you need to supercharge it. Look, if you're going to be creating a dune bashing vehicle, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about, is this platform, is this Gladiator platform good enough to be the base for an overland truck? And, well, there's a massive gap in the market with the Defender disappearing. There are no more solid axle vehicles. I love the sound of this truck. It is insane. Jeepers, you did a fantastic job with this exhaust. There are no aftermarket exhausts for this, so yeah, this is the only one there, and you've done a great job. Hats off, guys, well done. Let's get back to it. We're just about to hit the off-road track over here. Time to go into 4. Well, we'll go into 4 high, deflate the tires, and let's go and see if this beast could become an overland truck. Can this fill the gap of the Defender? Well, a lot of the Land Rover guys are going to tell me, well, hang on a second, it's not a Land Rover, it's a Jeep. Okay, there is no more Defender, guys. So if you want to go and buy a new Defender, you're going to end up with that pavement princess. Hopefully we get to test one, and hopefully Defender proves me wrong. However, it is still not the solid axle vehicle. It is still not the icon of overlanding throughout the world. It is not the Camel Trophy. It's gone. It's gone. What the guys did with their Defenders is they bolted on every single accessory that you could possibly get, and they look fantastic. Are they all functional? No. The point is that anywhere in the world, if you needed to buy something for your Defender, it was readily available. Accessories, any bolt-on accessory readily available. And that's a big portion of my, or a big part of my decision on why I would take this over the Ranger, the Colorado, the Tacoma, or the Hilux, is that parts are available absolutely everywhere. Just look at the Jeeps on the roads, guys. You got so many options available. Cans, petrol cans here, rear bumpers, front bumpers, you name it, it's all bolt-on. The other little part that I like, and I mean, it's cosmetic, and really, quite frankly, if I owned one of these, I'd probably have a roof rack on the vehicle. But the fact that it becomes, you know, a cabriolet and you can put the front windscreen down, doesn't that just scream Land Rover to you? I just can't get it out of my mind that Land Rover has missed the point completely, and these guys are filling a gap. These guys, Jeep has really taken that gap, and I reckon they're going to be very successful with this model. What really peeves me off a little, well, actually, I can't say it really peeves me off, because on the Land Cruiser side, they've done exactly the same on the 79 series, and unfortunately they've done exactly the same here on the Jeep, is that the rear door is exactly the same as the standard Jeep. And the same with the 79 series, it's a 76 series rear door, which means even though the vehicle is stretched, you still have the skinny, nasty little door with a sill trying to get in and out of the vehicle. With the front, well, the passenger seat all the way back, I still have enough leg room in here. There's no ways that I could sit in the back of the vehicle in the normal unlimited. So I love the fact that they've stretched this. It's comfortable. You would be able to travel a long distance with the seat in its full back position. What I don't like is they've kept the same door from the unlimited. So obviously it's to save costs, but it's a tiny little door, and getting in and out of this space has always been a challenge if you're slightly taller. But okay, we see it in the 79 series. They took the 76 door and it's exactly the same, and the evidence is right here. So the normal, this is the wheel arch for the rear tire on the unlimited normal Jeep series, and obviously this has been stretched. So getting in and out of this is a bit of a challenge, and you've only got this small space here. I would have liked to see that they did that or changed that, but at least we've got some leg room now. I suppose one advantage of this area being here now, you can utilize it for recovery ropes. I'm sure the guys that are doing the mods will probably cut this out and put a little door area, since it's not a wheel arch anymore. It is kind of wasted space, but there is quite a bit of space here to open it up, and then maybe install your compressor over here, get all your watering connections coming out of this little area. I think this is good area to use for that. I would have liked it rather as accessibility into the vehicle, but right now wasted space, but potential usage. The storage inside though, wow. Okay, well done Jeep. And I know you started from Ram. You took the rear axle and you took the storage boxes underneath the seats. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, because that space over there can be utilized for so many things. If you're just a weekend warrior and you're out there dune bashing, you've got space for your recovery gear underneath the seats. If you're out there and you're touring, that's exactly where I'd put my medical bags. Very easy to access. Lift the seat, medical bags over there. Anything that I need quite quickly. Absolutely awesome. Right, let's talk about payload. Now, Another quite irritating fact is that your Sport S, your Overland and your Rubicon, those are the 4 vehicles in the range of the Gladiator today. Your Sport has a far higher payload than your Overland and your Rubicon. Doesn't make much sense. So if you're going to go overlanding and you're going to want a 500 kg payload in the rear, you're better off going with a Sport. I don't understand why they brought an Overland that has less payload than the Sport version. Also, if you're going to go with the automatic versus the manual, your manual, you have a higher payload versus your automatic. Is this going to hurt them? I don't know. I think the looks is going to sell the vehicle.
Tell you what, it's definitely a head turner up on the highway heading to our destination to go and film this, and every second or third vehicle they're coming past, beep beep, guys waving, guys flashing. Definitely a head turner for sure. So it's got the wow factor, definitely. It's quite cool.
I think Jeep's capability as an off-road vehicle is going to sell. I don't think people are really going to be worried about the payload, but those of you that are serious trying to turn this into an overland vehicle, I would suggest going for the Sport. Right, so I had to grab the piece of paper here so that I don't get this wrong. Okay, so payload, right, on the 6-speed manual is 1,600 pounds and the towing capacity is 4,000 pounds, right? On the 8-speed auto, you got 1,100 pounds of payload and 4,500 pounds of towing. There is a package available and they call it the max tow, and if you had to take the max tow with the 8-speed auto gearbox, you end up with 1,535 pounds of payload and you end up with 7,650 pounds of towing capacity. So there are options available to you. However, it keeps on going over here, and that's the Sport. Now you're dropping through to the Overland on 1,140 pounds of payload, 4,000 towing, and if you take the auto, you got 1,120 pounds and 6,000 pounds of towing. So it drops on the payload, and sorry, I would probably have to go with a Rubicon because I want the diff lock, and it comes with 35s and it's already got the suspension, so it's kind of already set up for me, or would be set up for me. I'd probably change the suspension regardless once I put a canopy on the back. But the payload on the Rubicon, 1,200 pounds payload, 4,500 pounds towing, and then on the 8-speed it's 1,160 with 7,000 pounds of towing. It's quite confusing. I mean, I suppose as they launch and as they go on, we'll kind of get accustomed to the different vehicles in the setting. I just don't understand how they couldn't keep this as a standard. And obvious, you know, the gearbox does make a difference, and the weight makes a difference. But come on, guys, they've stuck in a Ram rear axle over here on this vehicle. Now, Ram, as we know, is a phenomenal vehicle, and the payloads that those vehicles can carry, absolutely awesome. So the differential, the rear axle, is from a Ram truck. Why are we fooling around with 1,160 pounds of payload? Quite irritating, but as always, aftermarket goods are available and you'd be able to change it, right? Talking about aftermarket goods, the exhaust on this vehicle is insane. Now, this is not a standard exhaust. This is what Jeepers has put out. There are no aftermarket exhausts available at this point in time. But Jeepers, the company over here, they pride themselves in customizing Jeeps and really building a truck that you can go straight to them, purchase it, and finance the whole vehicle. Instead of going to buy a vehicle and spending 50, 60, 70,000 dirhams on that vehicle, customizing it, they do it for you, and you can just finance the whole vehicle as it stands over here. So kudos to the guys. This exhaust is insane, and it put a massive smile on my face. This is the first customized Gladiator in the country right now. So they've gone over the top. to make it look good. It's going to look great in all the magazines. It's going to look great on my show. Is it practical? Would I go with 37-inch tires? Probably not. Why? Because 37-inch tires you cannot find anywhere. If I was touring and I need to replace tires, I could get 33s and 35s in a heartbeat. 37s, I'd probably be stuck next to the road for 14 days waiting for the tire manufacturer to send me some tires. So, does it look great? Yes, it does. Is it practical? No, it's not. So, what would I do? 4-inch lift, 35-inch 35-inch tires? Absolutely. On either a 17 or a 16-inch rim, you know you're in that magic quadrant. Does this drive well on 6 inches 37s? Oh my word, have I had fun today. We've had so much fun with this truck. It is a toy. It's an absolute toy. And that's what Jeep's always been. We know it. We know the capability of Jeep. We know that Jeep is fantastic off-road. We know that it is a dune-bashing king. And sorry to you FJ Cruiser boys here, you're going to dispute that fact, but come on guys. Power to weight ratio, a Jeep is going to win every single time, and I think this is going to kill the Ranger market over here if they can get the price right. What do I think about the Gladiator? Again, I have to take price out of the picture, because if I'm looking at the American stats on the prices, and here we go, $35,000 for the Sport S, $38,000, $41,000, and $45,000 for the Rubicon. If I looked at that, yeah, that is actually not bad. If I look at what they're selling it at over here, starting at $220,000, and the dollar will be written over here, all the way to $280,000. Really? One of these can get me 2 of these? I'll walk away, because I know that I'm going to be spending at least another $30,000 to $40,000 on kitting the vehicle out. Dual battery. Oh, dual battery. Dual battery system in the vehicle, standard. I really like that. Would probably upgrade it, but the fact that they're thinking about it, that they've already got a dual battery management system. If you look at this vehicle with all the lights, if you look at winches, you look, it's got an inverter in it already. It makes sense for manufacturers to start thinking about dual battery management systems out of the box. Would we utilize those exact batteries? We'd probably change to lithium or lead crystal, whatever you prefer. But the fact that the manufacturer has thought about it, tick, love it. Well done, Jeep, well done. I think the potential with the Gladiator is infinite. I think it's infinite. I think we're going to see so many of these vehicles out on the road touring versus any independent front suspension vehicle, your Rangers, your Toyota Hiluxes. I think this is going to start trumping that market. I really believe so. It looks great, it drives great, we know it's reliable. Why would I be driving in a Suzu or a Ranger or a Hilux versus this? I'm kind of sold on this. I really am. If we could get the price down, I would think of. I've had so much fun in it. I would really consider building one of these. It just kind of ticks all the boxes. It really does. The comfort in this vehicle versus a 79 series, and now I'm going to get the Land Cruiser guys killing me for what I'm going to say next, but you're going to spend a lot of money on suspension on a 79 series to get it anywhere close to something like this. And again, this is not a stock vehicle, so I haven't driven the stock vehicle, so don't shoot me down. I'm just based on this vehicle, and we all know on a solid front axle vehicle with a 6-inch lift, it all becomes a bit wishy-washy, doesn't it? However, in this vehicle, not. I think Jeep hit the nail on the head with the bin. I think they hit the nail on the head. 5 foot. It is absolutely perfect. It's the right size. any longer, any shorter, it just wouldn't have worked. It looks really great. Your departure angle and your approach angle on this vehicle is, as expected from Jeep, really good. And 5 feet of bin capacity, there's a lot of gear that we can put in there. There is a lot of gear that we can put in there. And as I said, it's a Jeep, so aftermarket suspensions are readily available. So you can actually enhance the rear suspension, stick in an airbag over there, and you could probably get quite a bit of gear into the back over there to be able to suit your touring around Africa or around the world or wherever the hell you might be going. So in conclusion, right, is the Jeep Gladiator an overland vehicle? Or is the Jeep Gladiator a good platform to build an overland vehicle? Well, yes, definitely. Yes. If it fits your budget, definitely. And because Jeep makes, or there are so many aftermarket accessories available through a plethora of dealers out there, different manufacturers, you're not going to spend half the amount of money as you would trying to build a Ranger or a Hilux or a Colorado or a Tacoma for that matter, because the amount of accessories available to Jeep are infinite compared to those vehicles out there. So whatever add-on you're going to do, you can basically go out there and you can buy whatever suits your pocket. This is like a Meccano set. It's plug and play, just bolt it on and off it goes. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I would like to see some of the canopy manufacturers starting to produce the RCIs. The guys in South Africa, guys in Australia would build the whole rig for it, but I want to see a canopy on this bin. I know that the Australians go straight to the flatbed, but I want to see something that kind of follows the lines of the vehicle. I think it's going to look absolutely fantastic. This vehicle is going to go through a slight metamorphosis. It's going to go and end up being an overland truck. Right now it's built for obviously the launch, the only vehicle in the country that has got the mods on it. It will eventually end up having rooftop tents and all the jerry cans and everything and kitted out nice and sexy as a tourer. But as it stands right now, is this the base that could take over the Defender market? Well, yes. And why? Because there's nothing else, guys. There is nothing else. You can buy the 70 series, you can buy a Jimny, you can buy a Jeep. Y61s are still sold in this country, but that's not a pickup. Oh, you do get the pickup version though, but it's a single cab. What else are you going to buy that is a solid front axle to do the job? Because quite frankly, independent front suspension, why bother? If you're going to tour through Africa or tour around the world, I'd like to get around there. I would like to actually finish the tour, and we all know capabilities of front axles far better, stability far better, your breakdowns far less.